Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I've been thinking about this for a while. You know, it's something that always crosses my mind. Every once in a while, let me correct myself. You know, every once in a while, I'll think about it. Where I get confused more so by like how an individual can get haters, and I'm not trying to make it seem like that I'm the most likable person on the internet. I know I'm not likable. I know I'm somebody that can, I guess, if I'm one of those people where it's like if somebody provokes me, then I guess like, yeah, that's when I'm overall not likable. And that's the thing where I'm like, fam, if people just leave me alone, like that's the thing, like that's the message that I always try to put out when it comes down to content creation, is that I just don't want to be bothered. But you have people that will test you, and I guess you'll say some things that will question their education, and then they want to get upset with me. And I'm like, fam, you really have to sit down and think about it. Like, every hater that I've dealt with, yeah, you know, it might have been some things that I said and did where it gave them a reason to come after me. But I mean, if we just sit down and talk about Minnesota Boy, for an example, you have to, for those that don't know who he is, so this was a YouTuber that I had issues with back in 2015 and 2016. He uploaded a video. In case if you're new to my podcast and you overall don't know of the, because I feel like if I had just said him and not explain who he was, then people have been confused. Like, I know I'm, gaining new fans every day and stuff. So yeah, I'm like, I don't know what you guys know. Like, y'all, if you binge watching the episodes, I appreciate it. But if not, then yeah, that's why I'm just pretty much going to give you guys a little bit of a quick summary. But anyways, he had uploaded a video because it was a trend at the time to upload these types of videos. So he uploaded this video where he was talking about white people. He did a video where it was titled, "Dear White People, Why I Hate White People." I think you can understand what that video was. But anyways, because yeah, at the time he uploaded, well, it was a trend to upload those types of videos. So I think the more famous one was from the one YouTuber, Nicole Arbor, where she did "Dear Fat People." And and I still to this day, that video throws it. I don't remember everything that she said, but I remember an idea of the video. And yeah, that's one of those things where I'm like, people try to desperately to gain attention and stuff, and I do think that that's one of the reasons on why people hate, because they're seeking attention from somebody. But I feel like it's a bunch of different things. It ain't just attention seeking. It is a mixture of that. But anyways, getting back to what I was talking about. But when you look at him, for an example, and you look at how, I guess, invested he was in my content, if we can word it that way, because he wasn't a fan, but at the same time, if he didn't want to call himself a hater, so it leaves us with saying that he was invested in the content. Why was he invested into the content? Like, that's a question that I want you guys to answer, and whether you want to write it in the comment sections or just think of the answer and not say it out loud and stuff. Here's why I personally think why he was so invested into my content, because when you have somebody challenging your, I wouldn't say ability, but overall, like, you have somebody challenging you in a way. And that was the thing. I think he misinterpreted what my video was. I was never trying to challenge Minnesota Boy and what he was talking about. I already knew how I felt about what he was talking about. And I think that's what a lot of people, what they like to do is seek validation in whatever it is that they're talking about. So he felt challenged, but at the same time, he did want to seek some sort of validation on his video. And that's the thing. I'm not a racist. So I'm not going to agree with you because you tell me to agree with you. And you can hit me with all the black history and facts and all that stuff. And I'm like, fam, that's still not going to change my mind. Like, and for those that don't know, one of my closest friends, I've known him since I was 10 years old. He's mixed, but he is half white. I'm not going to hate half of him and be all like, oh, sorry, I can only hang out with you half of the time that we usually hang out because half of you is white and I don't like white. Do you see how silly that sounds? And that's the thing where when Minnesota Boy, when he uploaded that video, he wanted all black people to, I guess, like the ones that are, not racist and things, but he wanted black people to just pretty much agree with them. Don't care what kind of friends they have, don't care what kind of employees they have. And it was funny because that was the thing with Minnesota Boy, is that he was just doing that to go viral. And he wasn't expecting, I don't think it did affect his personal life, but his personal life was getting bright. He actually did get hacked. Like, it was one of those things. I remember his name got leaked out, his location got leaked out, all that stuff. It all got leaked out. And that's one thing that I've learned, that with content creation, anybody can get hacked. That's why I'm like, I guess talking to a content creator, it's like, be extremely careful with what you get yourself into and who has access to your computer and stuff. But yeah, he pretty much buried his own channel, when he decided to do that video. And that was the thing where it's like, I don't even think he was trying to seek validation on his racism. I think it was just a mask, but he wanted to seek validation for himself. And that's the thing that people need to understand, that with content creating, is that people are and the thing is this. I've seen so many different types of personas work out for YouTube. The best persona that you can possibly have as a content creator, and this goes for YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, is that you have to be yourself. Minnesota Boy wasn't being himself. That's why he tried to come back and make it seem like that, I was just giving y'all a little social experiment. I wasn't really a racist. And he said that. If you go to his main channel, I think he uploaded a video or he posted something on there that links to his new channel, and he was trying to say that I was just doing a social experiment. Now he's trying to do like some other form of content. And I'm like, no, what you need to understand is that when you get canceled on the internet, and that's one thing that people need to understand about being canceled, is that depending on what you do, there ain't no coming back. Yeah, there's some people that came back, but the thing is this, and that's something that I'll never forget. I remember one of his fans, had, like, they commented underneath, it was one of the videos that I did on Minnesota Boy, but anyways, they commented underneath the video and was saying how they've been a fan of Minnesota Boy, because that was the thing about him. He was an extremely talented content creator, and that's why I'm so confused by why he went down the route. But like I said, at the time being, I was confused, but now it's like, when you sit down and think about it again, he was trying to seek validation for himself. He was trying to validate who he, I guess, like, wanted to be, because and that was the thing where it's like, when he was, I would assume that this is at this time frame of him being a content creator, that he was being himself, but he was doing like Call of Duty videos. He would do Call of Duty videos, but at the same time, while playing Call of Duty, he would freestyle while he's playing the game. Fam, that's one of those things where if I had that ability, that's one ability that I would love to have, is to be able, I mean, like, I can multitask, like, I can talk and play a video game, but to be able to rap on beats and actually play the game, like, all doing this live and stuff. Yeah, no, that is one of those things where I'm like, even if it was on some stuff where he was just reading some, like, written rap and stuff, still, you're making a gaming video into a musical. It doesn't really get any better than that when it comes to gaming. Like, no, honestly, that's pretty dope. So that's why I was so confused, because I'm like, you had a good thing going for yourself, but that was the thing, is, again, the validation stuff, that he wanted to be validated, he wanted to be accepted, and he thought, like, there was an audience of racist people on the internet. And that's the thing, there's no such thing as there is, audience out there that are racist, but the audience that he was looking for, that was non-existent. So that's why he was trying to do that. And then he was also trying to get into it with the one YouTuber, Blasphemous HD, talking about his mom and stuff, and then finding him, I think it was either at VidCon, one of those like content creating events. I think it was VidCon, but yeah, was trying to start stuff with him there. And I'm like, man, it gets to a point where you have to realize that maybe content creation ain't for you. If this is where your mindset done led you, content creation ain't for you. You know, because that's something where I'm like, you had a good thing going for yourself and you ruined it because you wanted to be famous. Fam, and you know, that's the thing. For as long as I've been a content creator for 16 years. I've had my moments where I felt famous, and then I had my moments where I felt unwatched. You know, and that's the thing where I'm like, I would rather have those up and down moments than to have it where I done did something to where now it's too late to go back, and now I got to continuously keep going down this route, whether it's of being somebody that I'm not or being canceled. But that's one thing that I've seen, that in those directions, you usually at some point in time reach a dead end. Yeah, it might look all nice and glamorous, but eventually you're going to have to bust the U-turn and you're going to have to exit out whatever route that you went down. So that's why I'm like, you know, the route that he was trying to be famous. He was trying to, and that's the thing. I'm like, the route that you went down, it's like, bro. And then he was also trying to do that too, like trying to gain fame off of me, because I was growing when throughout 2015 and 2016. I was getting it's still kind of living off of the shout out from Ask a Gangsta, because a lot of people at that time, they were commenting, subscribing, you know, showing love to my channel and stuff. And then on top of that, I was posting a lot of different videos. So I'm, you know, kind of having my rising and stuff on YouTube, and then I got mixed in with the racist pedophile. I got mixed in with his audience. So I guess, you know, explaining him for a little bit, you know, on why why he's the person that he is today, the person that we all see. And it's no different than Minnesota Boy, you know, and it's like when you kind of hear of his situation, you know, the first thing he wanted to do was get involved with communities and stuff. So that's, I think there was like, he was on that Deviant Art. And I think they was like, he kind of was getting mixed in with the crowd on there. But then I think it was a situation where he was being accused of causing somebody to off themselves. And so I think that's what overall led him into leaving Deviant Art, and then he decided to become a YouTuber. But he didn't know what group he wanted to fit in as a YouTuber and stuff, because you look at some of his earlier videos, and these are just the videos that we're seeing. Because I know that there's videos that he deleted. The first video he uploaded was a video of him defending the Confederate flag. So we don't know at the end of the day what videos he had on his channel. I'm just only seeing the videos that I seen when I very first came across his channel. But anyways, but yeah, he's somebody that was also trying to seek validation and stuff when it came down to content creation. And that's the thing where it's like, so you're willing to go down the route, and that's, you know, the thing is this: who he is on the internet ain't no different than who he is outside of the internet. You know, he probably ain't as open about it like how he is where he's posting a public video for the world to watch. He's probably just going to his like, I guess, people that he feels comfortable with talking about content creation, and the people that because he thinks that these people are validating his opinion, and they're not. It's one of those things where I'm like, if I can honestly keep it a buck with them, I think that a lot of the people that he knows, they're probably scared because he strikes them as somebody that he wants to get even, but in a way where it's going to alter a situation where it's like, you know, somebody might potentially lose their life. That's what at least the vibes that I get off of him. Because when you look at his audience, that's what how he influences his audience. But the thing is this: you know, when you look at fan bases and when you look at the creator, and you kind of see, like, you know, you see a pattern almost. You know, you see like the same not energy, not activity, but I guess the same mannerism, you know, like amongst the fan base, because like you kind of see where he's somebody where he likes to be in control. And then when you look at his fans on how they carry conversations, they also like to be in control. They don't see things eye to eye with people, or I guess like they don't have a neutral agreement, you know, with people, with whatever it is that they're talking about. Because if, let's say there's two, all right, so you know what, for an example, so two extraction shooter games. Well, one is like, there's like a demo that's out of the one game, but the other game's been out for a few months. But anyways, Arc Raiders and Marathon. Now, if they say, I guess for somebody that's never dealt with this audience before, if they say that Arc Raiders is a better game, or if they say Marathon is a better game, that's the only opinion that matters. And if you say the opposite game is the better game, they want to argue with you about why that. And you know what? It ain't even so much as the game not because they probably know at the end of the day of whatever the opposite game that is being talked about. If they know that it's a better game, they don't want to come out and admit that it's a better game. They're like, no, you're going to say that you like this game and this game is better. Otherwise, we're going to harass you for a long period of time, and they're not going to stop harassing you. Because and that's the thing. You can have a good. Well, you know what? Let me, because I feel like I'm giving the fan base too much credit. The fans don't usually, I guess, like, they wait for somebody to make a video, and then whatever they say in that video, they just run with whatever it is that's being said. So like, let's say, for an example, I do a video saying that Marathon is a better game than Arc Raiders. They won't say nothing until the racist pedophile, the main guy that I was getting into it with, if he comes out and says that Arc Raiders is a better game than Marathon, and he's like, oh, because they have, I'm trying to think of something, it's third person, they're all going to be saying the same thing. They're not going to be coming up with their own argument on why Arc Raiders is better than Marathon. They're going to wait for the video to come out, and then they're going to be like, oh, Arc Raiders is third person, Marathon is not. Therefore it makes it a better game. And the funny thing is that, so over the years, because that's something that I strongly believe in, is deleting comments. I'm like, I don't care for looking at your comment. At the end of the day, it's like, if you ain't going to I'm not even so much as having or accept, all right, like, not even having an agreement, but you overall, if you're not going to accept my argument, then fam, why should I accept yours? And the funny thing is, they're not going to respond to that. If you go and listen and watch a lot of the content that I've done on my haters, there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of examples that I painted out that they don't want to talk on. No, they only want to find and talk about the things where it's been said before in video. So they're trying to use their notes. And that's the thing where I'm like, okay, if I'm a test, you can't use your notes for the test. You got to just use muscle memory. You just got to be smart. These guys don't display that. So that's why a lot of the times, like, when arguing with them and when going at it with them, it was pointless, because I'm like, okay, I know I'm not arguing with you guys. I'm pretty much arguing with an echo. What sense does it make to talk to an echo? I want to talk to the voice. I want to actually have, and that's the thing, if the voice, it's only, I guess, like a one-sided voice, then there ain't no reason to have a conversation with that individual, because like I was saying, the fans ain't no different than the creator, so there might be some audience or some communities out there where it's it's just people being themselves amongst a community, and like I was saying, that is such an accepted thing, and I don't know why people feel like you have to be exactly like a creator, and you see that one too many times, like with content creation, that it's like, so for an example, IShowSpeed, he had that one guy that was copying him, because most likely he was an IShowSpeed fan, and he was copying everything that he did, and it got to a point, and I honestly, and it's funny because you don't even really hear about that guy no more, but when you see IShowSpeed, I mean, that man's in Africa. He's over there doing streams. I think currently right now he's like in some Mr. Beast challenge or something like that. So yeah, it's like he improved as a content creator, and it wasn't like there was nothing wrong with his content before, but he felt like that it was time to expand the IShowSpeed legacy, like that, his his career and stuff, it's time to expand his career. And meanwhile, that guy, it's like, I think, hold on for a second, let's just see what he got going on, because I think people were calling him the IShowSpeed clone, and it's like, now it's like, it probably getting drowned out by other people, but he might be somebody where if you look up IShowSpeed clone, then see, it's like, it doesn't even get talked about anymore. It's like that. Oh, wait a minute, is this it? No, that's it, but it's a short video. Yeah, you can't really find streamer copies, but they're not like saying the guy's name. Did he delete his channel? He might have deleted his channel. Yeah, he probably did get tired of it, where it was like White Boyum. Okay, that was his name. All right, because I was like, yeah, wait a minute. I was like, whatever happened? Oh no, he still posts. He's still posting things. It's just not. How does he have 536,000 subscribers? Well, I guess, yeah, if you are copying one of the biggest content creators in the world, people are going to be interested, I guess, But overall though, it's like, yeah, you just see it one too many times with fans of a creator, where it's like they want to copy everything that they do. And that's why I'm like, I don't get. And you know, the funny thing is that you know, talking on the racist pedophile, because I know a lot of people, you can see the pedophile stuff, but the racism he likes to hide. He don't want nobody to know that he's a racist. And I'm like, well, when you look at how your audience talks, my question is, because it's like, and I had did multiple videos exposing him for being a racist, and it's funny because it was never a direct response to what I was talking on, because I think even when I did react to the videos that he did of me, he never tried to prove his innocence on the racism. If anything, he just cracked jokes about it and downplayed it. But then when you hear conversations about him, like, because there was the one clip where he was talking about he was on a date with a black woman, and she had asked him what's his favorite train or something like that. He talking about what's your favorite, I think it was, I can't remember if it's been a while since I've seen the video, but I think he said what's your favorite type of chicken and basketball team or something like that. And I'm like, you know, that it's one of those things where you sit down and you think about it, and it's like, do you really believe that you're not racist? And that's the first question. There's all these, it's either you have some serious case of autism, and that's the thing where he'll try to run with that. And that's, and it's funny because I remember before that was a thing a couple of years ago when he got canceled for his stuff, his fans would like to say that to me, where if I say something to them, they're all like, oh, you're saying this to a person that suffers from autism. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, and like you put yourself in an environment where you're gonna be saying something where, no, it's like you had the God-given rights, or you just had that choice on whether or not you're gonna come to my channel and say something crazy or be respectful. You decide to come to my channel and say something crazy, then you're surprised by me responding to you and saying something crazy back. Now it's like, oh, I want to say that and so it's funny. Fast forward 2024, he gets called out for defending a pedophile, and then he tries to say the same thing. Oh, I'm very autistic, and I'm taking this medication, and I had a bad upbringings, and all these other different things that's wrong with me. And I'm like, yeah, so is a lot of other people out there. They don't do no hour and so video defending a pedophile. So that's why I'm like, you know, to me, I find it really funny how audiences, and not even audiences, but just how communities, how they operate, you know. And it's like, yeah, when you see when a community, when they get canceled, you see where usually the creator gets canceled, and then the community just disbands, like they're gone, like and that's why when all his stuff was going down, where was his community at? Where were his fans at? Where were his, and it's crazy how there were people, I remember when me and him, when we were going at it, and it was like from 2016 to 2020, there was a lot of different people that I seen that were always jumping to his defense, and they were in my comment sections, and they were making sure of it that, oh, you're not going to have a narrative in this situation. Your narrative is going to get muted, and we're only going to be the voices that people listen to and stuff. They're all like, oh, if we have numbers, then numbers means that we're right and you're wrong. So, but no, the funny thing is, fast forward 2024, he gets probably the most craziest cancellation, and there's all these different people. That's the funny thing about it, you know. He makes it seem like that there was nobody there to help him with his I guess this video that he wanted to do defending this pedophile. And I'm thinking to myself, all these different people, these faces that I seen when I was going at it with him, what happened to those people? What happened? And it's, I think maybe, possibly, don't know, I think it could be that they realized that they were being used by him, because you seen the one person from that, well, I wouldn't necessarily say community, but it was a friend of it. Well, I wouldn't even say that, because he made it clear he wasn't friends with this person. But anyways, the YouTuber Harley TBS, they come out and say that they were cool. He says that they wasn't. And that's something where I'm like, well, why are you not cool with this individual? What did they do to you? And it's funny when you say things like this, where it's like, oh, you know, the racist pedophile was a user. Again, they want to argue with it. They're trying to, you know, I guess like not really I feel because with this guy it was just a lot of different conversations can come out of it, so I don't really think it was a validation thing. I think that what his business was is that he just wanted to use people, so it was at some point in times like he wanted to seek validations with what he talked on, and I think that's what he was really trying to do from 2024 when he got called out for defending a pedophile, and then 2025 was that he wanted to seek validation for who he is. And that's the thing, it's like we're not going to accept people like you because look at the situation that you're in right now. Why would we accept why would we want to be involved in a crowd like that? And the thing is this, when a person realizes that they're being used, they're like, no, I don't want to, I don't want to be bothered with you and stuff. And I think that's what it was with a lot of the friends that he made throughout the years. But then with the Harley TBS person, they looked at the racist pedophile as a friend. They was like, no. And they even said it in the tweet. His response, and what it really translated to, you ain't never did nothing for me, so therefore we ain't friends. And that's just crazy to me, where it's like, why does somebody have to do something for you in order for you to, and I'm like, if you realize how small your circle is, that's why. But when, like, look, and the thing is this, because he claims he has a girlfriend, how did that relationship come about? What was it like? Oh, be my service person. I can't afford a service dog, so yeah, be my service person. Walk me into Walmart so I don't have a random outburst and then offended a whole crowd of people in there and stuff. I guarantee and I promise you that's what his girlfriend. She ain't a girlfriend. She's a service person. Like they got service dogs, cats, hamsters, pigeons, chickens. I'm trying to think what else. A rock. He don't have a girlfriend. He has a service person and stuff. So that's why a lot of times, like, just seeing that audience, seeing that community and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of people using each other. And I think his fans, once when he got canceled, they realized like, oh, well, we can't. For one, we don't want to be involved with that, because there probably was some of his fans where they was all like, no, I just was a fan of the content. I didn't realize he was that weird and stuff. And and overall but there was probably some of his fans where they was like, well, we can't use him no more, so we're just gonna jump ship. We're just gonna leave the spot. You see where some of his fans, they are trying to have some sort of involvement with who he is now. But I think again, because I feel like there's levels to it of that community of users, where there's the ones that just seek comment replies and hearts on the comments, and maybe a shout out in a video or something, or they are trying to get a follow or a subscribe on YouTube and social media and things. And I'm like, and that's the question where it's like, all that using, what is it going to do for you in the long run? Like, let's say like 10, because he probably ain't got the same fans he had 10 years ago. Them fans is probably long gone, because that's usually how it is for a lot of different content creators and stuff. But and it's over the years, you see where he ain't got canceled for a lot of different stuff. And and it's, and that's probably why a lot of the times, like, his fans, they just ditch the spot. They was like, ain't ditching the spot because your content, for one, I mean, yeah, because when you actually do watch his content, it is pretty boring and stuff. And that's why I'm like, man, I don't know how people even watch that content in the first place. But overall, though, his fans, I'm like, I imagine that they left not even over the content, but just, because of him getting canceled, for the content that he was putting out. So yeah, that's why I'm like, man, it's just that area of the internet is weird and stuff. But anyways, it's one of those things where it's like, there's a lot of different groups and communities. I guess if I can end this off, on a more of a motivational note, there's a lot of different groups and communities out there where there's a lot of different questions that needs to be asked and answered amongst themselves, and at the end of the day, if they realize that there's a lot of wrong going on within their community, then yeah, maybe one day they might change. But if not, I want people to come back to this episode, play it from the first second, and listen to everything that I said. And then if there's anything else that I've said before that makes, because there's a lot of different content where it's like I'm exposing, people for who they really are, So overall, though, but yeah, come back to this episode. Come back to any, videos and stuff, because the stuff that I say, it's funny because I had just seen this tweet the other day where there was the one community that I got into it with back in 2016. It was the Thomas the Tank Engine community. And I know a lot of people are probably like, wait a minute, the what community? Yes, there is a such thing as the Thomas the Tank Engine community. And I know people are going to probably be all like, bro, you was arguing with some kids online. No kids. There was no kids in this community. There was people at the time when I got into it with this community. I was 19 years old. There were people in their 30s, older than me. I'm 29 now. So like there's people that was older than me. And if they are still a part of this community, then I'm like, hey, you know what? I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna let this this tweet speak for myself and things. But no, anyways, but yeah, back in 2016 I got into it with the Thomas the Tank Engine community. I did say some things where I was like, okay, you know what, I apologize for what I said. If I offended anybody, didn't mean to. I was overall trying to offend one person from that community. But I was like, but my thing is this, deep down inside, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to just let the situation play its course. I ain't going to say nothing to this community. I ain't going to talk about this community. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm just going to let the situation play its course. So I'm scrolling through Twitter. I searched my name up on there. And I think it was because, I don't know why, my tweets don't show up when I search for my name. It's this, so the tweets that I'll post, but those don't show up. But when I tweet that I'm live on Twitch, that shows up. So I was like, I don't know if there's a glitch going on with Twitter or something, because before they did, but now they don't. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, it's just weird. But anyways, I seen this tweet. Let me see if I can find that tweet again, because I feel like I need to read it out loud, or actually just read it and stuff rather than trying to remember it and things. But anyways, hold on for a second. Latest, yeah, it's just all the tweets from me going live, and then there's a couple from the AI hater and stuff. But anyways, no, so the person was responding to another person. They go on to say, and I think it's people from that Tank Engine community and stuff, or the train community, I don't know. But anyways, they go on to say, I just was recommended a new video published today featuring Alfred the Lone Engine. Can we as a community please move forward without using this character? I really hope I don't need to outline why. Don't know what that tweet means. Not really following the Thomas the Tank Engine community. But the person responded and said, what's even more sad is TMossBoss, myself, predicted something like this. While he was bashing the Thomas fandom from liking the show as adults, he said he would not be surprised if we were thrown in prison for being a pedophiler. I ain't never heard the word be used like that before. But then he goes on in response to that tweet, and he said, and one of those fans did. And I'm like, man, and that's the thing where I'm not going to, say I'm the content creating version of The Simpsons where I be predicting stuff, but I'm just saying, with that community, with other communities, with a lot of different communities, I done said some things because I'm going based off of something that I've already have seen before. So people thinking I'm saying stuff to have an argument and stuff. No, I'm saying this as a warning. If you continue doing what you're doing, fam, it's not going to last that long. If you continue wronging people, it's one of those things. Wronging people, hating on people, trust me, the karma that you face is going to be 10 times worse, all right? And I'm telling you, when it hits, it hits hard. And I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, you're going to be thinking like, dang, bruh, I wasn't expecting it to hit that hard and stuff. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.